All right, so hello and welcome again to River Valley Farm. Got the baler out of here finally, as you can see. So next up on the list is we are going to drain the engine oil out of this thing and see how much we get, more or less. When I changed the oil back in the spring, which is the first time I'd actually changed it, oh, excuse me, I didn't get very much out of it, and it was showing to be right on the full mark, more or less. But the dipstick had been cut off and screwed around with and what have you. So anyway, I had this dipstick, and I verified the part number. It was the correct one by part number for this tractor. So I put it in here, and the oil was way high, and so on and so forth. I was actually having issues with my front main seal leaking, which it still does leak a little bit, but not as near as much as it did. And anyway, hang on a second. So anyway, I went, like I said, okay, so what was I even saying now? I drained, didn't get very much out of it. I checked, like I say, the dipstick that came with it was cut off and way short and everything in comparison to the one that I have now. But anyway, basically, I've been having to add oil to it and this and that and the other. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil out of it. See how much is in there now, because it is, as it sits, there's the oil level up there above this little washer deal here. Okay. And find the full mark. Of course, I turn it the wrong way. Now, there's your full mark right there, and the oil level was way up here someplace. So not real sure what's going on here, if the parts book is wrong and this is not in fact the right one, because this is the one that a 584 would take, which is a completely different engine. But anyway, beside the point right now. We're going to drain it, see what we get out of it. If we get less than, it's supposed to take 7 quarts. If we get less than 7 quarts and it's way over full like it is right now, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna drop the oil pan off and see if there's something in it. I don't know how else you can really do this. So and hopefully we don't have to break the tractor in 3 pieces to drop the oil pan, which we may very well have to do. And if such is the case, then, well, we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so I didn't do a step-by-step, but drained the oil pan of the engine into that drain pan with the red funnel in it. Naturally, there's still a little tiny bit of oil left in there, not very much. Drained the filter from the engine into that drain pan as much as I could stand to waste my time to do. And then I poured the contents of said pan into this gallon milk jug. It's not quite even a gallon, I don't think. So anyway, it should have filled the milk jug and this apple juice jug as well, because this is a half gallon and that is a gallon. But this is not full to the point. I think typically they go up to about right here. Okay. And then this one should have been filled to about right there, if it had had enough oil in it. Okay. I had been noticing on a steep grade that I was losing oil pressure. It was never enough to really be concerning, but like it would, the gauge would fall off from. So okay, well, first off, I guess I replaced the gauge, factory gauge, with this gauge right here. Okay, it works really well. Very, very accurate gauge, seems to be anyway. So I don't know how well you guys can see that, but anyway, cold idle, this tractor makes 60 pounds oil pressure. When it's hot and you're working it and you're up to PTO speed or whatever, it's running 40 pounds oil pressure. Okay, and then at an idle, when it's warm, it's down about 15 or 20. Okay, plenty of oil pressure, right? Until you put it on a hill, side hill or steep up and down grade, either one, then the needle starts to bounce, and it's kind of like, okay, it starts falling off, and then when you level it out, it comes back, and you're kind of like, huh, what the hell's going on here? So anyway, that's what we're about to find out, hopefully. I'm very, very hopeful that I can actually separate this oil pan from the engine without having to pull the front bolster or to split the tractor or something. But I don't know that I'm going to get that lucky. Because it really does need to come off there so we can see what's going on. There's bolts up in here, 2 bolts up in there that you got to take out. And then you have to take this bolt, and there's another one there, the one's down the side, obviously, and then there's some more, another 2 bolts in the front that you have to take out. I've already taken one out because I was trying to get at my see whether my front main seal was leaking or not. Anyway, so yeah, bear with me while I trial and error here and see what happens. But hopefully this thing will just slide right off here. Won't be any problem at all, and all will be well. Hopefully. Alright, so got all the bolts out of it. It didn't fall off. Didn't really think it was going to, but it did not do it. So anyway, I put this jack under here to kind of catch it just so it doesn't hit the floor, because, well, we really don't want it to hit the floor if we can help it. Next up, there was 2 bolts back here. This is the back of the oil pan, okay. There's a bolt up here and a bolt up here, or up there deeper than that. I can't even touch the, yeah, there I can. But anyway, it's way up in there, basically. So, next up on my list, we're gonna get a big dead blow hammer and a hammer and a chisel and see if we can kind of work this thing down out of here. Excuse me. Now, if you have a 74, 54, 74 series International, all the way up to an 84 series International, a 574, 584 up, okay, this pan is still an integral member, an integral frame member, okay. All right, it does not, it's not quite as hemmed in as this, but it's still a great big heavy chunk of cast iron. It doesn't need to be treated like it's light, because it is not, in fact, light. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to get this out of here like this on this one, because they're still, that's all still sandwiched together really tight right there. But anyway, this is what we're going to attempt to do first. So let me go get my dead blow and my hammers and chisels, and we'll see what we can do. Okay then, so, you know, I was kind of expecting there to be like a pop bottle or something in there, something otherwise displacing oil volume, but anyway, there is not, or at least not in that part. We still got the bottom of the crankcase to look at yet, and the suction tube and whatever else here, but anyway, So everything looks to be good. I mean, we got our, well, let's see. This is your suction tube here, which by rights that hole could really, yeah, I guess not. It'll be all right like it is. Pretty straightforward. Suction tube goes from down here in the bottom of the oil pan into the oil pump. Oil pump pumps oil through this tube up and out. I would venture to say through the oil filter, but I'd have to look at the diagram and see how it flows or is supposed to flow. And I thought there was supposed to be a set of balance weights in the bottom of this thing. I don't see those either. There is on all the 4 cylinders. There's not on the 3. So okay, cool. What else can we see down here? Everything looks... Don't see anything out of place or that looks terribly unhealthy, so... Okay, well, now we know. The dipstick is marked wrong, and the front man seal leaks like a sieve, so okay then. Now we know. Alright, so, like I said, now we know. We know what we're up against, we know what we have. Not going to worry too much with the seal, I don't think, just yet. Because, well, I don't have one. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to put the pan back on. See if I can get that gasket down without destroying it. Put the pan back on. I have gasket paper if I have to go that route. If I do destroy it, it'll be okay because I have gasket paper. I can make a new one. That part will be alright. But anyway, put the pan back on. Refill it with the correct amount of oil. We're going to put 7 quarts of oil in it. And, or actually, we're going to put 6 quarts of oil in it. And remark the dipstick, wherever it went now. It was sitting up on the hood, now it's not. Oh, anyway, so, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put 6 quarts of oil in it, remark the dipstick, put the 7th quart of oil in it, and mark it as full. Okay, so that is that's what I'm gonna do. You know, the book calls that this thing should hold 7 quarts of oil. That probably includes the filter though. So anyway, if we can get it to hold 8, that'd be just fine with me though. I would not disagree with that in the least. So that is what I'm gonna do now. I will probably call this video good, guys, and then we'll go back into it most likely tomorrow sometime when I have a minute after I get everything else put back together. We'll talk about, we'll show you actually filling it up and marking the dipstick, so that way it'll be clear as anything else that I do. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Tell me I'm stupid or something. I don't care.